Good morning, fifth grade. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Today we're going to talk about two things, the 40-book challenge page that's in your folder and your new reading journal. 40-book challenge. Why don't you go ahead and pause this video and go grab your folder that we sent home on Meet the Teacher Night. Inside is a piece of paper with a graph on it titled 40-book challenge. Go ahead and pause and I'll wait for you. Hopefully you did that and you're back. Now, you'll notice that 40 books are listed on there in different genres. I'm going to quickly walk through those genres, but please don't panic and please don't try to memorize this if this information is new to you. Okay, we're going to dive very deeply into each one of these all through the year. So please don't drive yourself crazy trying to remember this. This is just a refresher. I'll help you if you have any questions in trying to fill out your graph. So I think the first one on there is realistic fiction. That genre is if the characters are not real, they're fake, but they're not magical or out of this world or anything that couldn't happen. They're typical people like you and me with typical problems and challenges every day that we're challenged with as well. Another one on there, I'm gonna have to shift, this says folk literature. Sorry about the light. This is folk literature, also called traditional literature. That will be any of your folk tales, tall tales, even the stories you grew up with when you were a little kid, like The Boy Who Cried Wolf and The Three Little Pigs. Any of those kinds of stories that have been around for a very long time and passed down from generation to generation, parents telling their kids. We'll go into that further. This one is mystery. Everybody loves a good mystery. There's some kind of question or crime or something, and you have to draw a lot of conclusions to figure out who done it. That's bad grammar, by the way. Who did it, or what happened, the answer to the question. Up here to my right here is science fiction. That's actually a form of fantasy because it's not real in our world, something out of this world. It's either set in the future, like some of you have gotten into the Hunger Games, anything that's set far into the future, or it involves technology that doesn't actually exist, like Transformers or robots taking over the world. Also, anything set in outer space that can't actually happen or hasn't actually been invented yet. That's all sci-fi or science fiction. Informational text, hopefully that is a familiar term to you. That is where we go when we need to learn something. We want to find out. Informational text, if we need information, we go into informational text. Historical fiction is one of my favorite genres. It is where the setting going on in the story is real. We know the Civil War actually happened, and they usually drop some famous names that we know, like Abraham Lincoln is brought up in this book. People are talking about him, but the main characters are not real. They were made up by the author to make the story kind of interesting. Next, we have, my poster says biographies, and that does count, but that's under a bigger umbrella called narrative nonfiction. And that means it's a true story, but it's told like a novel. It's told like a story from beginning to end, rather than in informational text. These are usually smaller articles with graphs and things like that. So hopefully I covered them all. If I didn't, we're going to go further down deeply into this all year long. If you have any questions, give me a call. Now, every time you read one book, you will go pull out your graph and you're going to color a little tiny bit of the bar for that genre. Your goal is to fill each bar all the way up. Fill up your bar in the assigned genre before you go to free choice, because you want to make sure that you fill up the bar. So if you read a realistic fiction book, then fill out that bar. Once you've already read all 6 realistic fiction books and you want to read a 7th, then you put that one into free choice. That way you fill up things as quickly as you can. Now, did anybody go, 40 books? No way! Please don't. I promise. I got you. We got this. This is not going to be as big of a problem as anybody with a beating heart, anybody whose heart is pounding right now might be feeling, because we have all year to do it. I'm going to give you a lot of time in class to read, and I'm going to give you plenty of time that we'll go together and search around for books. They don't have to all be 700-page novels. Any book that you complete is one of your 40s. In addition, anything I read out loud with you and we go through as a class will count towards your 40 books. So having said that, we read together a book called First Day Jitters already. So I want you to go ahead and pull out your, pull out something to color with to go with your graph that you have. And let's see what genre that would be. It is a story of a real teacher, not a instructional teacher, a real one like me, but it's not a monster. She wasn't magical. She wasn't something out of this world. She was just like you or me. So if it's a person that is just like you or me, with challenges that we face every day, something that could be real, even though the character is not, that would be called realistic fiction. And we don't have any reason to believe that Sarah was a real teacher. So you need to put a little color in a little bit for one book on the realistic fiction bar of your graph. And congratulations, you've already started your graph. So good work on that. Next, you can put that back in your folder. Don't lose it. Hang on to it until we get back to class in September in person, and then we'll do something with that. Hang on to your 40 book club or 40 book challenge graph. Now I'm going to share my screen. After you put that away, you have an assignment that you found in Google Classroom. Here we go. I'm trying to share. Sorry about that. Here we go. It should look something like this. My reading journal. The sky's the limit on page 1. I've written these instructions also in your Google Classroom. So if you are already good to go and you don't feel like you need me to walk you through that, you're welcome to hang up now and say goodbye and get started. But if you would like me to walk you through kind of quickly what this journal looks like and what I expect of you, hang with me. So here we go. Page 1, the sky's the limit. You do whatever you want on page 1. It's your title page. It should be numbered. Right here is your number in the page, and here's your title, My Reading Journal. You can highlight your title. You can do anything you want with it. You can maybe change the font. I kind of like this Comic Sans MS. If you're a cursive kind of person, you might want to do that. So you can play around with the font a little bit. You can play around with the size of your font, 24, 25, any size title that you'd like. And you can even play with color. Be sure to highlight each time if you want to change anything in a word. You need to highlight so that the computer knows what it is you want changed. So I'm kind of a pink or a turquoise kind of girl, so I wanted to change that. Now, what I ask of you is anything except the title. Once I'm asking you to type real things to me, your journal entry, anything after page 1, I'm asking you to stick with size font 11 or 12. 11 or 12. So here we go. Page 2. Here's the page number right here. This one you're going to title Book Ideas. And again, you can change the title. I kind of like to make titles bold. And I'm going to change the color again because that's how I roll. And then what am I going to do after I press enter? And I'm going to start writing inside this page. I want it to be on what size? 11 or 12, right? So I picked 12. And what I'm going to do here is number this page. I'm going to make it dark so that you can see. I'm going to number this page 1 through, sorry, in the background. I'm going to change the color again. And this time I'm going to number this 1 through 25. I'm sorry, I accidentally did a color. I accidentally highlighted instead. I'm going to unbold this and I'm going to put this on black. And now I'm going to number this 1 through 25. Whoops, we forgot 11 or 12, didn't we? I'll put it on 12. So I'm going to number this 1 through 25. And you can continue so on and so forth so that you are not having to sit here and watch me number. I'm going to move on to page 3. Page 3 needs to say books I've read. Books I've read. This one needs to be numbered 1 through 50. 1 through 50. I know you're only reading 40 books, but it's surely going to be a book that there are going to be some books that you're bored with and you want to abandon. Readers abandon books, and that's okay. Maybe you found something more interesting that you liked. Maybe you are just bored. Maybe it's hard. Whatever the reason, it's okay to abandon a book. But I'm sorry, this is not books I've read. Would you please change that to books I'm reading? Hopefully you have read and catch it too late on that. I'm so sorry. Books I'm reading. So you're going to number this to 50. And then so on and so forth. And then when you get a book that you are done with, you can put that in the bar graph. If you abandon it, you're just going to cross it out. And that's okay. So 3 pages, and that's all you have to do. You've already finished First Day Jitters. So you can fill that in on number 1. Okay, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.